everyone, get ready for a deep dive. This time we're going all in on the biggest takeaways from NFL Week 9.
Yeah, Week 9, right. Talk about a roller coaster.
Let's kick things off with that Falcons-Cowboys game. 27-21, Falcons take the win. On the surface, just another Falcons win, right?
Yeah, you might think that, but this one had a different feel to it.
It did, didn't it? I mean, they lost some key players during the game. Drake London and Grady Jarrett both went down. You'd think that would be it for them.
Usually, yeah. But the Falcons, they showed some serious resilience. To pull off a win like that, it says a lot about their mental game.
And Bijan Robinson? Oh man, he was unstoppable. 145 total yards. That guy is quickly becoming the core of their offense.
No question about it. You can see how they're designing plays specifically to get the ball in his hands, turn him into a weapon.
On the Cowboys side, though, Dak Prescott, he went down with that hamstring injury in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was tough to watch. It really limited his ability to throw, especially on those deep passes. You could see the impact right away.
Yeah, those deep passes are a big part of their game plan. And then there were the coaching decisions. That fake punt call, what was that about?
I know, right? It felt like they were just handing the Falcons chances. They really struggled on 3rd and 4th down, which ultimately cost them the game.
Totally agree. But even though the Falcons won, their defense gave up 137 rushing yards. That's a little worrying, especially against a team that hasn't been running the ball well.
Yeah, you gotta wonder about their defense. A win's a win, but they've definitely got some things to work on if they want to keep winning.
Right. Okay, let's switch gears to that Ravens-Broncos game. Ravens absolutely dominated 41-10. Lamar Jackson was just on fire.
He was unbelievable, perfect passer rating. But it wasn't just about his individual performance, you know. It shows you how committed the Ravens are to offensive innovation.
We've talked about how teams are moving away from that traditional power run game.
Right. And the Ravens are proving you can still dominate with a well-designed passing attack.
And Zay Flowers, the rookie wide receiver.
Yeah.
127 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Talk about exceeding expectation.
He's electric. And I think he benefits from the fact that defenses are so focused on stopping Andrews and Bateman. It opens things up for him.
Creates those one-on-one matchups that a guy like Flowers can just exploit. On the other side, though, Denver's rookie QB, Bo Nix. He had some good moments, but he also missed some crucial opportunities early on.
Yeah, those early mistakes can really come back to bite you, especially in a game like that.
Makes you wonder if the Ravens might try to make some moves before the trade deadline, maybe beef up their defense even more.
With their offense humming like it is, they could be a serious contender in the AFC.
They're a team to watch, that's for sure. Okay, how about that Bills-Dolphins game? Talk about a nail-biter. 30-27, Bills barely squeak by with a last-second field goal. Tyler Bass from 61 yards out.
Can you believe that kick? What a way to win it.
That was a redemption moment for Bass, especially with all the talk about competition for his spot.
He silenced the doubters with that one, that's for sure.
At the Dolphins, those mistakes they made, just heartbreaking.
The penalties, that fumble in a game that close, every single play matters.
You know, it also speaks volumes about Josh Allen's MVP caliber play. He wasn't throwing bombs like we're used to, but he was efficient and smart against that Dolphins defense.
He's showing everyone he can win in different ways, not just relying on his hamstring.
Exactly. All right, let's move on to the Panthers and the Saints. Carolina wins a tight one, 23-22. This game felt like a real turning point for Bryce Young.
Definitely some ups and downs, including that late interception. But to lead that game-winning drive, that was huge for his confidence.
And speaking of rookies making an impact, Ja'Tavion Sanders. That rookie tight end for the Panthers had a fantastic game.
Way beyond expectations for a first-year player. He's making a name for himself.
And let's not forget about Alvin Kamara. Another season with over 1,000 scrimmage yards for the Saints. That guy is just a machine.
Mr. Consistency, the heart and soul of that Saints offense.
No doubt. Let's jump to Cincinnati now. The Bengals absolutely dismantled the Raiders 41-24. Joe Burrow was just playing on a different level.
He was surgical out there. Pocket presence, improvisation, those pinpoint throws.
3 touchdowns while scrambling. That's insane.
It was like watching a masterclass in quarterbacking. And on the Raiders side, the QB situation is a bit of a mess. Benching Minshew for Ritter in the 3rd quarter.
That QB carousel could be their downfall. For the Bengals, though, Chase Brown had a breakout game, his first 100-yard rushing game.
They needed that. It takes some of the pressure off Burrow, gives them a more balanced attack.
Makes them way more dangerous. And defensively, Trey Hendrickson was a monster. 4 sacks, season-high pressure rate. He single-handedly disrupted the Raiders' offense.
It was like he was playing against a bunch of mannequins.
Okay, last game for this part of our deep dive. Chargers versus the Browns. Chargers win 27-10. Justin Herbert is officially back.
It felt like he never left. He was in total control, even under pressure from the Browns' pass rush.
That connection with Palmer and Johnston was electric, especially that 66-yard touchdown to Johnston.
The Browns couldn't get anything going on offense, though. Winston's interceptions and their lack of a running game really hurt them.
They were playing catch-up the whole game, it felt like.
All right, now let's head over to Washington. Commanders were in a close one against the Giants, 27-22. Jayden Daniels just keeps getting better and better.
The kid's got ice in his veins. He makes those tough throws look easy.
Remember, they didn't have Brian Robinson either. Daniels really stepped up.
His accuracy on those deep balls was incredible. The Giants, though, they had a slow start offensively, and they just couldn't contain Daniels.
He kept them guessing all game.
All right, let's wrap things up for this part of our deep dive with that wild overtime game between the Titans and the Patriots. Titans pull it off 2017.
It was a turnover fest.
It really was. It felt like the Titans, after struggling with giveaways all season, finally figured things out. Amani Hooker, 2 clutch interceptions, game-changing performance.
He was the hero, no doubt. But you got to give credit to Drake May for the Patriots. Playing through a concussion nearly led them to victory.
That 11-second scramble before throwing that touchdown, incredible.
He's the real deal, that kid.
And in the end, it was Ridley and Pollard who led the Titans to victory in overtime.
Clutch players making clutch plays, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground already.
Yeah, but we're just getting started.
Okay, we've talked about those early games, but we've got a whole other bunch of matchups to get to. They were pretty exciting too, trust me. How about we head out west? Cardinals and the Bears. A lot of people probably overlook this one, but the Cardinals, they put on a defensive show, 29-9.
Oh, yeah. It was a dominant performance, especially from their defensive line. 6 sacks. They were all over the quarterback. Zaven Collins, Xavier Thomas, those guys were relentless.
And then, remember that 53-yard touchdown run? Emery Demercado, right before halftime. Felt like the Bears' defense just took a nap for a second.
It was a huge momentum shift. Demercado made them pay for that mistake. The Bears just couldn't recover.
It felt like they were making mistakes all game, both on offense and defense. You know, it's a reminder that even the best teams can slip up.
Absolutely. And those mistakes, they can be costly.
But it wasn't all defense for the Cardinals. Their run game was pretty impressive, too. Connor and Demercado, they were sharing the load.
Yeah.
Shows they can win in different ways.
Makes them a tougher team to prepare for, that's for sure.
Okay, let's talk about some of those key divisional matchups. Jaguars and the Eagles. That was a game everyone was looking forward to. Nick Shook had a great breakdown of it. He highlighted Trevor Lawrence had a solid game. But it was the Eagles' defense that really stole the show.
That Eagles defensive line, there's something else. Oliver Lawrence, disrupting everything the Jaguars tried to do.
And their run game, too. Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift, they were a tough duo to stop. Controlled the clock, kept the Jaguars' offense off the field.
Classic Eagles game plan. Control both sides of the ball, wear down the opponent.
Works for them. All right, how about another divisional showdown? The Lions and the Packers. Kevin Patrick gave us his take on this one, went right down to the wire.
Whale biter.
Jared Goff led a late comeback to get the win for the Lions. He was so resilient and accurate even under pressure. Some clutch throws to St. Brown and Williams. Vintage Goff.
He stepped up when his team needed him most. You got to give the Lions defense credit, too. They made some big stops in the fourth quarter to shut down the Packers' comeback attempt.
Aaron Rodgers, he's always dangerous. But the Lions, they managed to contain him just enough.
They did. This win really puts the Lions in a good spot in the NFC North.
They're proving they can compete with the top teams. Now, let's head over to the West Coast. Rams and the Seahawks. Christian Gonzalez broke down this game for us. Lots of offensive fireworks.
Matthew Stafford, back to his old self, slinging the ball all over the field, led the Rams to a high-scoring win.
Stafford and Cooper Kupp, that's still one of the best QB-WR duos in the league. Kupp had another huge game, over 100 yards receiving, multiple touchdowns.
It's like they never missed a beat.
But the Seahawks, they put up a good fight. Geno Smith had some impressive throws, too, connecting with Metcalf and Lockett.
Back-and-forth game for a while. But the Rams' defense made some big plays in the fourth quarter, got some crucial takeaways.
To stop the Seahawks from mounting a comeback.
Exactly. A big statement win for the Rams. They're still a force to be reckoned with in the NFC West.
You can't count them out. Okay, let's wrap things up with the Sunday Night Football game. Colts against the Vikings. Grant Gordon gave us his analysis. A real defensive battle.
It was, wasn't it? One of those games where you could feel the tension building. Both defenses were playing lights out.
Lots of big hits, takeaways, some amazing individual efforts.
It was a classic, old school football. But even though the offenses were struggling, it was the kickers who decided the game.
Came out of that last-second field goal. Vikings' kicker nailed it. Talk about a heart-stopping finish.
It could have gone either way. Both teams have a lot to think about going forward.
Okay, we've gone deep on a lot of games, but now it's time to zoom out. Look at the bigger picture. Okay, we've broken down all those crazy games, but what does it all mean? What are the big takeaways from Week 9 that will shape the rest of the season?
You know, one thing that really stood out to me was the impact of these rookie quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see Drake May out there for the Patriots? The kid almost won them that game by himself.
It was unbelievable.
And Jayden Daniels, he just keeps getting better with the Commanders. That calmness under pressure, you just can't teach that.
It really is amazing to see these young QBs coming into the league and making such a huge impact. It's exciting for the future of the game. And it's not just quarterbacks either. We're seeing rookie receivers, running backs, even tight ends making big plays. This rookie class is special.
No doubt about it. And it's shaking things up, you know. The playoff picture is getting interesting. You've got those established teams trying to hold on to their spots.
And these young, hungry teams nipping at their heels.
Exactly. And speaking of shaking things up, how about all those upsets this week? The Falcons beating the Cowboys, the Titans taking down the Patriots in overtime.
It's a good reminder that in the NFL, any team can win on any given Sunday.
That's the beauty of this league.
Yeah, you can't take anything for granted.
And another thing that's becoming clear, the importance of those defensive takeaways.
Turnovers.
Yeah, they can change the whole momentum of a game in a heartbeat.
Just look at the Titans. They beat the Patriots, largely because they were able to force those key interceptions.
Exactly. It's that old saying, defense wins championships. Create those game-changing plays on defense, and you're in a great position to win.
But, you know, we can't forget about the offense either. We're seeing a real evolution of the running game. Teams are getting creative.
Oh, yeah.
Using multiple running backs, incorporating designed quarterback runs. It's not just about pounding the ball up the middle anymore.
Nope. It's about keeping those defenses guessing, setting up the pass. And with the athleticism of today's running backs, the possibilities are endless.
So as we look ahead to the rest of the season, what's the big question? What's going to determine who comes out on top?
Well, for me, it all comes down to which teams can maintain that momentum. Stay healthy, make the right adjustments, and stay hungry week after week.
We've seen teams start strong and then fade away. And then you've got those teams that seem to find another gear as the season goes on.
Right. It's all about resilience, adaptability, and believing in your team.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Well, folks, this NFL season is far from over. We've got a lot of football left to play.
Plenty more twists and turns coming our way, I'm sure.
I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. Thanks for joining us for another deep dive.
Always a pleasure.
We'll be back next week to break down all the action from Week 10.
See you then.
Until then, keep those helmets on and those predictions coming.